Selamat siang. Untuk hari ini akan menganalisis kembali tentang puisi yang kami telah analisis sebelumnya, karena kami mendapatkan kesalahan pada saat menganalisis sebelumnya, dan kami akan menganalisis kembali tentang puisi ini kembali. Judul dari puisi ini yaitu adalah Do Not Go Gentle into That Good Night by Dylan Thomas.
Baiklah, jadi di sini saya akan memberitahu tentang line dan stanza. Di puisi ini ada 6 stanza dan tiap stanza itu ada 3 line. Kecuali yang stanza terakhir ini ada 4 line. Menurut saya di sini ada beberapa kesura, tandai dengan tanda baca koma, titik koma, dan titik. Dan di sini menggunakan meter, yaitu tetrameter, karena setiap line-nya memiliki 5 kaki. Contohnya seperti ini.
Di sini saya akan mencoba menganalisis untuk bagian figurative meaning-nya. Jadi untuk di stanza pertama itu ada 3 line dan semuanya itu adalah figurative language. Jadi awalnya ketiga line di stanza 1 itu kita buat sebagai simbol, tapi karena ada beberapa kesalahan, ternyata yang benar itu metafor dan kita sudah memperbaikinya. Jadi untuk line pertama itu adalah metafor. Untuk line pertama itu adalah metafor. Untuk line kedua juga. Dan line ketiga juga. Jadi alasannya kenapa line pertama itu adalah metafor, karena do not go gentle into that good night. Night in this line is being compared as a death. This line is meant to tell us not to be afraid of death. So that's the reason why this line is a metaphor. And for second line, it is also a metaphor because a burn in this line is being compared to a burning spirit. This line tries to tell us that we have to stay excited in our old age, even though death is near. So that's why we think the second line in the first stanza is also a metaphor. And for the last line in this stanza is rage against the dying of the life. It's also, I think, it is also a metaphor. Because the light in the line is being compared to the life. This line is like trying to tell us to fight when we are dying. So that's why I think this line is also a metaphor. And also, so the three of it is metaphor. I will try to. I think enough because my writing is not really good in this screen. I think I will mark it as a blue. So this is metaphor, and then in the different figurative language, I will mark it as different colors. And then we will move to the second stanza. So there's also three lines there, and I realized there's one figurative language that same as the one figurative language in the first stanza. So I think I will only explain two because the one of it I already explained it. So I will explain about the first line in the second stanza. So though wise men at their end no dark inside. So I think this is metaphor too, because right in the line is being compared to church. This line is tell us to accept death, which is in this case is being compared as a dark. So because this is metaphor, I will use blue to mark it, so you know this is metaphor. And then for the second line, because their word hard rock, no lightning day, I think that's a hyperbole maybe, because their word hard rock, no lightning is an exaggeration. It was as if their words were more powerful than lightning. So that means the meaning is like words that have very deep meaning. So you can compare the lightning. So I think that's the reason why it's hyperbole. And for this figurative language, I will use red color to mark it, so you know this is hyperbole. And then for the last line in the second stanza, this is the same as the first line in the first stanza. This is metaphor too. I will mark it as a blue, but I will not explain it since I already explained it before. And then we will move to the third stanza. Okay, I think we will move to the third stanza. So in the third stanza, there's a three line too, and actually there's two figurative language there, but again, one of them are already being explained in the first line, in the first stanza, in the third line. So I will only explain one, the new figurative language. So it is in the second line. I think it is the personification, because it is new. Because this is new, personification. I will use color. I think I will use black color to mark it as a personification. So this is the personification. Why that's the personification? It's because their words has their frail deed might have danced Green Bay. So there's an amorous birdman's fear depraved with fears dancing around as if the fear was alive. So like it is like the word dance. So like the frail is dancing, and it seems like the frail is alive. So it is a personification. And then for the third line in the third stanza, because it is the same like the in the third line in the first stanza, I will not explain it. And then we will move to the fourth stanza. So in this stanza, there are three lines too, but There's a three lines too with two figurative language too, but one of them I already mentioned it in previous stanza, so I will explain only one of it. It is in the first line. We can consider it as a hyperbole actually. So since it is a hyperbole, I will use a red red color to mark it. So wild man who caught, oh, I'm sorry. Okay, and then wild man. So this is a hyperbole. Why? Because the term like caught and sang the sun in the flight is an exaggeration, and the meaning of this expression is to show a courage. And then we will move since we will move to the third line in this stanza. The third line is the same like the sum of the term in the previous stanza, so I'll not explain it. And then we will move to the next stanza, the fifth stanza. So there are also three lines there, and then for the figurative language, I found two lines in this stanza. The first line, the second line and the third line. The third line is the same like the previous line, previous stanza. So I will only explain about and then I will move to the fifth paragraph. So there's three lines there, and then two of them are figurative language. So it is in the second line and the third line, but the third line is, like I said before, I already explained it in the previous stanza, so I will mention one. I will explain one of the new figurative language. So it is in the second line, blind eyes could blaze like meteors and decay. So this is a simile. Why? Because the part of like blind eyes could blaze like a meteor and decay is like eyes that show enthusiasm like a meteor spark in the sky. So that's the reason why this is a simile, and I think I will mark it as a yellow because this is new. Okay, and the last line is reiterate against the dying of the light. As I said before, I already explained it, so I will skip it. And then we will move to the last stanza. So it is different than the other stanza before. It has four lines, and then for the figurative language, I found three figurative language there. The second line, the third line, and the fourth line. The third and the fourth line is the same, so I will not explain it. But the second line is new, and I think this is a hyperbole. The second line is hyperbole, so I will use a red to mark it. So this is a hyperbole. Why? Because like curse bless me with your first chairs is an exaggeration, like it means like asking for forgiveness and safety. So I will add more. This is metaphor. This is also metaphor, and this is metaphor, but with the same meaning as before. So I think that's all for me. I don't have anything to comment about this poem, and I will give another my friend another chance to try to analyze this poem. Thank you.
Thank you, Tara. All right. I will to explain about my analyze about the sound and rhyme. About the alliteration, I will to choose the sentence, the example of for alliteration itu pada baris reach again the dying of the light. Untuk alliteration itu adalah pengulangan huruf konsonan di awal kalimat itu saya pakai yaitu huruf R. Reach itu ada pengulangan huruf R 2 kali, dan ada lagi untuk do not go gentle into that good night itu ada pengulangan huruf G di go and gentle and good. Alright, the next about the alliteration itu ada pengulangan di blind eyes cold blaze like meteor and be gay. Itu pengulangannya itu pada huruf B di blind, di blaze, di B, and di B before gay. And the last about the alliteration itu ada di and learn to lead, they grieve it on its way. Pada kata learn dan lead itu ada pengulangan huruf L. Untuk selanjutnya, saya akan memberikan penjelasan tentang analisis yang kedua, yaitu adalah konsonan, yaitu pengulangan huruf konsonan pada tengah atau akhir kalimat. Contohnya itu adalah wild man who called and sang the sun in flight. Itu ada pengulangan huruf H dan T di akhir, di called and flight H dan T di akhir. Dan selanjutnya itu ada pengulangan huruf di akhir yaitu pada curse bless me now with your fierce tears I cry. Di curse itu ada pengulangan E, di bless itu ada pengulangan double S, di me itu ada pengulangan E, itu ada pengulangan dua huruf yaitu E dan S. Di curse. Setelah itu yang selanjutnya itu adalah tentang ansonan. Ansonan itu adalah pengulangan huruf vokal dan biasanya berada di bagian tengah, akhir, atau awal. Itu berhubungan dengan huruf vokal. Itu sama aja untuk yang di do not go gentle into that good night. Itu ada pengulangan huruf vokal O di do not go into and good. Itu yang dapat saya sampaikan untuk ansonan, konsonan, and alliteration. Untuk onomatopeia, untuk tentang onomatopeia is an imitation of word from an object such as an animal or another. Dalam puisi ini tidak ada onomatopeia, sehingga saya tidak mencantumkan untuk menganalisis onomatopeia. Untuk yang terakhir, yaitu untuk tekstur. Untuk tekstur itu saya pakai reach again. Untuk penjelasannya itu adalah tekstur is a useful word, so not a technical term. You can use it when you wish to talk about the physical impact of the word in a poem. Based on the poetry, I can give an example for texture is rage against the dying of the light. And beside that, at this fears, my feeling are getting stronger about anger. If someone has the nature of being angry, often that personality is very wise in saying something. Alright, that's all about my analyze.
Aku mau nambahin tentang,
Oh ya, silakan.
jadi aku mau nambahin tentang cadence. Jadi, in this poem, Dylan Thomas doesn't let the beat completely fall. He made several lines and in commas. The reader is left overwhelmed and a little angry with the description of the poem.
Untuk sekarang, apakah bisa saya memberikan kesimpulan dari analisis hari ini yang telah kita lakukan dari pertama sampai akhir tentang unsur-unsur puisi yang telah kita sajikan? Bisa?
Bisa.
Bisa.
Bisa ya. Jadi untuk interpretation-nya itu adalah, in our opinion, this poem is about fighting death. We are told not to give up easily in the face of death. This can be seen from the choice of word used by author. This poem is also very neatly made. There are total 6 stanza with 3 lines for each stanza, except for the last stanza. There are 4 lines there. Also, this poem used an iambic pentameter. It means each line have 5 feet, and there are some lines that are used several times. Perhaps the goal is to emphasize the message contained in the prose. So, based on the analysis we made, this poem gives the impression to encourage readers because the beats used are not filling beats. This poem also has a rhythm pattern and sound that is quite diverse, like alliteration, consonant, ansonant, and texture. Itu tadi yang dapat saya sampaikan untuk tentang interpretation dari hasil analisis kami tadi. Sekarang silakan akhir kata saya mengucapkan terima kasih